Page 115, Danny Boy. This is an example of choral music. They don't give the words in here. Keep in mind you don't have to have words given in choral music because they can go ah, 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 or la, 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 or whatever they're going to do. They just have some vocal sound. It's like vocalese from Rachmaninoff. But it's for singers. However, let's pretend you got singers there and you need to play the parts. They have the suggestions up above. We can follow this, that's fine. At the beginning of each line, you see the S1, S2, and alto. That's soprano 1, soprano 2, and alto. And there's no grand staff. This isn't piano music. There's no curly brace. This is choral music. Key of D major, we're fine. And the soprano part with pickup. And 4 and. This is actually slow, but I'm speeding it up for the video. So that's the melody, obviously. Okay. It's the soprano 2 part. It's going to be harmony. See, it starts out same as soprano 1. Harmony. Yeah. Now people disagree on this, like they disagree on everything else in music. They would say, okay, for the most of the first line, the second sopranos are singing melody because it's the same note as the melody. I say no, they're not. They're singing harmony. It just happens to be the same note. In other words, as far as balance goes, I would prefer to hear the melody, the first sopranos, on top of everybody else. Even though the second sopranos are singing the same pitches, I would prefer to hear them softer in the background. And that way, when they break off and do their own thing, it just kind of blends in. So you don't have a double melody at the beginning. And then when it splits off, suddenly the melody isn't all there. Because now you've only got one group instead of 2 groups singing. No. So I would treat the top part as melody and everything else as harmony. As far as balance goes, that's how I do it. Other people disagree. Good for you. Okay. Let's go on. Let's do the altos here. And they're doing harmony. Although they could be singing the same notes as the melody. But to me, it's still harmony. Now we want to hear how the different mixtures go together. And so first I'm going to do the top 2 lines, the sopranos. And we'll go. First is only one note. So they get in each other ways sometimes. Got to get off of this so they can have it. I can't connect it. And they're both singing the D. And they end up with the same notes again. Now I want to hear the melody with the bottom part. So I'm going to do the melody and the altos together. Everybody starts on the same note. Now you're reading notes in 2 staves and the staves are farther apart. Well, it takes a little practice. Again, it's a skill. It's like reading, but your eyes are going to go back and forth between them, and real quick, you're just going to know it. You can go slow. B at the same time. And they end together. So now I want to hear the bottom 2 parts. So the second soprano and alto. the same note. Now let's see if we can get bold and do all three parts at the same time. Just take it slow. We're really after the overall harmony, the overall sound here. It's not too bad at the top because the top two parts are the same. Now here it's different. There. So just hear all three parts together. So the idea is working with the groups, you're teaching them to play their parts. So you're playing their notes. Now once they know their parts, you don't need to play their notes. If you could figure out what the chord sequence is, you could just play an accompaniment. Just chords, let them have it. They don't give us the chords, it'd be nice if they did. You could figure out what the chords are if you take most of the notes in all three parts. Whatever those notes are, that's probably the chord. So we're starting out with the one chord throughout most of this. And so you can figure out what the chords are, and then you can either write in the name of the chord above the staff or put in the Roman numeral for the chord under the staff, and then use that to improvise an accompaniment or something. You can do that. I ain't gonna do that. I'm too lazy, but you can do that if you want.